25 laps of 500cc Grand Prix racing up and coming here from Twin Ring Motegi in Japan. John Kaczynski on the outside of the front stroke creeps as he goes forward, but I don't think that he made a jump start. Meanwhile, into the first corner, it's going to be number 55, Frenchman Regis Lecone, who leads, but only momentarily, because he's number 10, American Kenny Roberts, the championship leader and winner of last weekend's Grand Prix of Malaysia, who leads already. But number 11, Simon Crafer, is in the dirt already. What does he have to do to get that thing to the end of a Grand Prix in a good position in 1999? Meanwhile, we're already out of turn 4, and the leader is still Roberts on the Suzuki. Second is Lecone, Frenchman, on the Yamaha. Third is Carlos Checa on the red number 4 Marlboro Yamaha, and reigning world champion Michael Doohan is in 4th position on his Repsol Honda. Norik Abe, local rider, is in 5th, just behind the Australian, and then Italian Max Biaggi in 6th position. Look at these treacherous conditions, and look at the spray that has been thrown up by Kenny Roberts as he goes into the left-hander. A change of position there for Michael Doohan. He has come up from 4th. He's now in 3rd. He now has Lecone in 2nd and Roberts in 1st in his sights as they find their way around this first lap. They've got to feel their way in with the tyres, feel their way in with the machine, and look at the small rivers that are actually flowing across this track as they come up the hill into the hairpin. There is Michael Doohan on his orange Repsol Honda, keeping it is Norik Abe behind him, but look at the lead that the two have, Roberts and Lecone, as they come over the hill, down the 700-meter straight into this 90-degree right-hander. They've got to be so careful on the brakes because gravity is having its way. It's making them brake earlier than normal because it is a downhill stretch. They are coming through the last corner now, making it just stay on the island, but Roberts, number 10 on the Suzuki, keeping it well and truly in control as they come over the line to complete lap 1. Lecone in 2nd position on the number 55 Red Bull Yamaha, keeping in touch with Roberts. Now Lecone, he started way down the grid. He was actually in 7th position on the 2nd row, and he's made a demon start. Now Lecone, he didn't make good starts last year, but he has been practicing them in the off-season as we have a change of position for 3rd position, and it's Norik Abe who takes 3rd away from 5-time world champion Michael Doohan as they come on to one of the back straights already. And well, Roberts Jr. in that leading position. He's well in control, but it's Abe who's bringing himself up to that Roberts leading position.
Yeah, and you had Norifumi Abe starting from the 3rd row in 10th position. You know, he always makes a good start in the dry weather, but this being in the wet, he did the exact same thing, carbon copy. But this man is right where he wants to be. Kenny Roberts in the lead, clear vision in front of him, so to speak. He doesn't have any spray coming up from anybody that's in front of him, of course. You've got Norik pulling away. There's Simon Crafer, a shot of him inside of the Red Bull Yamaha garage. Just an appointment so far for that team, but their teammate right now trying to keep up with Kenny Roberts Jr. Just getting it sideways. Is he going to hang on to it in the grass? No, Lecone is down. Lecone making a tiny mistake, and I mean by tiny because the bike just touched the white paint, and you can see how slick and treacherous it is out there. You see the instant replay. Just watch the back wheel just touch, and look at how quick it snaked. The other thing, he's going so fast through there. He's probably doing 130, 140 kilometers per hour, and just not being able to hold on to it.
Lecone very lucky indeed to get away with that one. The Frenchman, well, nonchalantly shrugs it off, but that's a big accident in the wet, and so lucky to get away with it. Well, that's a testament to rider safety as we go into the 21st century. Look at the lead that Roberts now has, now that Lecone has fallen and is out of the race. Roberts, number 10, leads Abe, number 6, and then there is number 1, Doohan. And Doohan, well, this is the first wet race that we have had for a very long time. We have to go back 4 years for the last time that we had a full in the 500cc class. And many of these riders, they might have had wet testing and they might have had wet qualifying conditions, but this is a race, and this is a time when the adrenaline really does get pumping, and it's really pumping for another Repsol Honda in the shape of Spaniard Sete Gibernau. Now, He's riding a Honda twin, and we see an Aprilia V-twin of Tetsuya Harada. He just gets off the bike and retires out of the race. He was slowest in the wet practice in qualifying. He was slowest in the warm-up on Sunday morning before the race, and he is already out of the race off his number 31 machine. Not going well for him in 1999, the guy that finished third in last year's 250cc World Championship. Coming back to the Honda V-twin of Sete Jibba now, it's a motorcycle that is 30 kilograms lighter, to the fact that it has 2 cylinders rather than 4 of this man here, Norik Abe. He's running on a Yamaha, and he is setting a scorching pace as he almost gets out of the seat as he accelerates hard up the hill. Now he's in second, Doohan is in third, Checker is in fourth on the number 4 Marlboro Yamaha, but it's the guy in that 5th position, Sete Jibba now, who is running on a machine that has less power, but it's got less weight. Now the advantages for those parameters in these wet conditions are working well for Jibba now, because he started in 14th position, 4th row of the grid. He's going like a train.
Yeah, Sete's making the best use as he can, trying to get a good start in what you did and make a clear run of things, but nothing's clearer than anything is for this guy right here. Again, Kenny Roberts, just being able to eke out just a little bit of time. Again, where have we seen this before, Toby? We've seen it in Sepang last week. Just eking those little bit of time here and there, half a second, 0.6 of a second, and now right now he's got about a 2.5 to nearly 3-second lead in this race. Again, he's not sending a wheel wrong. Abe, I thought, was going to be able to hang with him. Doohan, they look like they might be dropping him a bit. You see the Marlboro Yamaha of Carlos Checa. I still see another Marlboro Yamaha. That is a 4 times world champion in 250 from the 250 class. That's Max Biaggi. But he's not, doesn't seem to be liking this just as much as Kenny Roberts is right now.
Now in these wet conditions, we see Jürgen van der Gerberg. Now he's on the European-built MUC. He rolls into the pit garage, gets off the bike. He's going no further. And, he struggled to get that off the line at the start of the race, and obviously the same problem rears its very ugly head. He's out of the race. Bad luck for the Dutchman. Meanwhile, at the front, you've got to be so careful in these wet conditions. 185 horsepower going through the rear tire. Now that the footprint of the rear tire is less than the palm of your hand, just how do these riders keep the thing on the track in such... There we have the fastest lap of the race so far from Kenny Roberts. Well, he really has responded to that challenge from Norik Abe behind him, who also set some fastest laps. So he receives information from his pit board. He responds to that. No pits to rider radio link at all, as you may have seen in car racing across the globe. So it's every man for himself out there. You've just got to do the old-fashioned read your pit board every time you come past the pits, and do the best you can and use your brain to the maximum. Here we have Roberts, number 10, winner of that race last weekend in Malaysia in the searing heat. What a change of circumstances in 7 days we have seen in this World Championship, but that's what the World Championship is all about. It's a 16-race series going from heat to wet, from twisty circuit to long, booming, long straights of a circuit, and this is why it's a World Championship. There you have Carlos Checa, number 4 in 4th position, and he has got a fellow Spaniard, number 15, Sete Jibba, now all over the back of him. So then, Carlos Checa, he's new to the Yamaha team in 1999. He was on a Honda last year, but after feeling his way in with the Yamaha, he's getting to grips with it in full effect. Sete Jibba now on the twin is expecting a new chassis to come through later in the season with differences that should aid the Spaniard to ride the machine. No problems though for Roberts. He's on a bike that is new to him for 1999, because last year he was on the 3-cylinder Medinas. This year, of course, he's on the Suzuki, and he has worked wonders with the engineer that is new to the team in the shape of Warren Willing, the Australian, who's a former motorcycle racer and now turned engineer, and he's just making some small changes in that Suzuki team that have just proved a winning package. And when things go well, everything falls into place. There's no magic book that people can refer to that says this is how to win a Grand Prix, but everything just falls into place. There's Wayne Rainey with the dark top on, former Grand Prix champion, of course. He's a consultant to Yamaha, and he is seeing Norikabe lose a place. This is second position that Michael Doohan has taken away from Norikabe. So Doohan on a charge. Look at that Doohan-esque style as he leans the bike into the corners, and even in these wet conditions, an amazing angle, such is the grip of the bikes as they go up the hill. And Abe, well, he's not having any of this. He's fighting back. Is he going to pass Michael Doohan number one? No, he is not. He's going to think the better of it here as he goes through the top hairpin, first gear corner. And now there's Louis Dantin. He's a former 250cc Grand Prix rider, and now he is turned team manager for Norik Abe. Well, look at the gap that Doohan has put over Abe in just a few laps. Oh, there's Kaczynski. Kaczynski out of the race. Oh, his head hung low as he goes out of the gravel. He falls out of the race, and from a front row start in fourth position. No points once more after he fell out of the Malaysian Grand Prix. Not a good couple of weekends for the American former 500cc Grand Prix winner. Michael Doohan, a 2:02.8. He is reeling in Kenny Roberts on the Suzuki, Doohan on the Honda. And, well, Roberts has sort of had it his own way in the first part of this race, and now he really has got to respond to the pressure of a 54-time Grand Prix winner, when Roberts has, in all due respect, only won one Grand Prix, and that's going to be a true test of mental strength.
Yeah, for sure. You know, when Kenny won that race in Malaysia, you have to remember that he had a lot of weight on his shoulders as well. Then you had reigning 5-time world champion Michael Doohan, Max Biaggi, the likes of Crivier and Carlos Checa, who was on the podium with him, who have both won Grand Prix in the past. Junior had not won anything, and he stood up to that testament there. Right now, this is another testament, because you've got the reigning 5-time world champion chasing you in different conditions, typical treacherous conditions out there in the rain, and slowly but surely eating away at that 7-second lead, and it's down to right now just around 4 or 5 seconds in closing. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Kenny Roberts can respond to that. You can see now it's 2.657 seconds. Now it's up to 3 again. So Junior trying to respond right back to the answer of going faster, having to go faster.
Michael Doohan is chasing him down. The carrot is dangling in front of Michael Doohan. He can see those 25 points for a win, and they're all important points. Every one of them counts. You have to take every score. Oh, there's Shinichi Ito, the number 36 off the Lucky Strike Honda. He's coming out of the top hairpin. It looks as if he's dropped the bike. He's fallen off it, but it was such a slow speed. He's managed to get back on the bike and back in the race. Whoa, Roberts is sliding the rear. You see the thing breaking traction and snaking around. 5 laps to go, and Doohan is taking time out of Roberts. We're in for a real grandstand finale here. Roberts is losing his lead to the tune of about a second a lap, and with a 3-second lead with 5 laps to go, well, Doohan could be up there with Roberts, but first of all, he's got to catch him. Second, he's got to pass him, and thirdly, well, he's got to stay there, which is the difficult part. There you see on our screen, Gibernau is ahead of Alex Crivier, and Sete Gibernau, well, he's really doing exactly what the V-twin Honda was designed for, going well in these wet conditions and going well where sheer power and grunt and torque is not the answer. It is not the best thing to have. However, this track is giving off a great amount of grip, as has been seen by some of these bikes wheeling out of the corners. Doohan is chasing down Roberts on Roberts on the Suzuki, Doohan on the Honda, and I'm sure that Roberts' heart will be fluttering. It's not an easy position.
No, for sure it's not. You know, he's had it his own way since the beginning of the race. You can see the bike squirming a lot. Junior trying to concentrate, dig down deep at where he needs to dig down, because if he gives just a little bit more way, you know, watch Doohan sit up out of this bubble. Really shoots himself up. He's, you know, that's the determined position and riding style that we've seen of Michael Doohan in the past when he's had to come from behind to win races. He's really trying to put as much pressure on Junior. Kenny Roberts, I try to stop calling him Junior right now because he is coming into his own, but tries to put the amount of pressure as much pressure as he can to make a mistake. As you see the top board, it says 2:03.2. That's the lap time. He's plus 2.6 over Michael Doohan. He's reading those lap times and really trying to keep the pace and the distance and the gap in between the two. Right now, with 4 laps ready to go, I can't see Doohan closing any farther than this, because it seems every time he throws out the carrot, Junior seems to just be able to eat back at that carrot and just keeps to be able to keep that distance at right around 3 seconds. Abe running back there 13 seconds behind Junior right now and in 3rd place with 13 seconds.
Well, it's a qualifying lap every lap. The concentration is 150% for these motorcycle riders. Kenny Roberts has worked on his fitness. He's worked on a new diet over the winter coming into this season, a specific diet for your specific blood type. It's, well, never mind what anybody says, whether or not it's hocus pocus, it seems to work for Kenny Roberts, because he's won the first Grand Prix of the year and he's on course at the moment at least, and all the Suzuki Grand Prix team down there in pit lane have everything crossed, fingers crossed, toes crossed, arms crossed, trying to count the time down as Roberts goes for another win. Well, Suzuki haven't won a Grand Prix for ages, and then Roberts comes out and wins the first race of 99. He's on course to win the second, and this is going to be sterling stuff for the Hamamatsu-based manufacturer. They had a huge party thrown for Roberts earlier in the week to celebrate his Malaysian Grand Prix win, and well, they're going to have to rebook their tickets before they go back to Europe to their British base if he wins this one, because there's going to be a hell of a party going on if he pulls this one out of the bag. But Doohan is going to be making sure that it's not over until the fat lady sings out of the last corner, and with another lap gone down into the record books, Doohan picks up the bike, puts the bike into an upright position to get the fat part of the tire onto the tarmac. The maximum amount of traction will be available to the Australian. Well, he's timing those laps down. 3 laps to go. It's 2.8 miles per circulation. And, well, these laps just must seem to take an eternity when you're out there. Oh, put the flag out, they must be saying. Just finish it. Get it over with. But every lap is so important. And there's only one lap that you really want to lead on, and that's the last lap. Doohan seems to be holding station in that second position, just around 2.5 seconds behind the American. But again, Randy, we're seeing an American and an Australian at the top of the 500cc World Championship races after a lull since Americans' last one in 500. Good so far as you're concerned, of course.
Yeah, for sure. You know, in preseason testing, Suzuki's definitely done the most homework. They were out doing 11 tests. Now, that doesn't mean 11 days. That means probably the average of 2.5 to 3 days per test. You're talking 30 days of testing, which is very expensive and very costly to the rider, trying to push himself, try to motivate himself. But I tell you what, there's no stopping Kenny Jr. right now. He's out there with a steamroller rolling. He left Malaysia feeling very good, very positive in the dry weather. He thought, oh, was this a fluke? Was it easy? It seemed very easy, but I can assure you it's not, especially when you have a man like this, Michael Doohan, chasing you. Again, Junior just responding so well and really not even putting a wheel out of position. His father, Kenny Roberts, is back in California because Junior's youngest brother, Curtis, is racing in California, actually today, this Sunday. Junior actually racing on a Honda. Curtis actually racing on a Honda back in California. So both kids out there racing on the same day. It's just different parts of the world, and I'm sure Big Kenny would love to be able to see this again.
Well, there was a tear in his eye last weekend when Kenny Roberts Jr., in inverted commas, won his first ever Grand Prix because his father was there to witness him coming across the line in first. Marcus Aubert on the number 18 Honda V-twin. The blue machine gets lapped. Such is the tremendous pace of Roberts at the head of this field. Now, let's not forget, behind Michael Doohan, we have Norik Abe on the Yamaha. So, well, for Grand Prix racing, we have got 3 different manufacturers in the first 3 places of this Japanese Grand Prix. Still the rain buckets down. It has not stopped raining since Friday evening It is now Sunday afternoon. It is incessant. Indeed, one of the car parks for the teams is actually signposted as a temporary sort of dam, a temporary area for floodwater, and the teams were asked yesterday to, in an emergency measure, to move their cars in case they floated away. Such was the rising levels of the water. It is an amazing set of weather conditions that we have seen here this weekend. Even the locals have been surprised by it. Time, well, Roberts is extending his lead. It is 3 seconds, give or take 1,000s. What's 1,000s between motorcycle riders or even friends out there on track as he comes up to the top hairpin. This is the highest part of the track. First gear, 55 miles an hour. Just gently squeeze that throttle. Open it gently, gently. Don't want to get thrown off the bike in these closing stages. He comes down the hill, gently, gently on the brakes. The rear brake, just using it a little bit more so that the front doesn't lock. That is actually the same point on the track where we saw Kenny Roberts fall during the Saturday afternoon second qualifying session when he went a little bit deep. Now he comes out of that last corner. He's coming over the line once more, and it's just one more lap to go for Kenny Roberts. 2.8 miles it is. Wow, everything is his heart is fluttering. Just got to keep it on that island, and the Suzuki team, well, all their Christmases are coming at once within 7 days.
Again, a perfect race, back-to-back. I thought it was impressive last week, but I would have to say this is much more impressive, especially with a man who, with 11 laps to go, Michael Doohan had a chance to close the gap, got it down to 2.5 seconds. You know, Kenny Roberts responded to that and now has opened the gap back up to just over 3 seconds on the final lap. Again, just keeping his head down, keeping himself focused, knows if he can just bring it home. He's got this one in the bag, and a perfect score of 50 points. 25 for the first one and 25 for this one.
We've seen how treacherous this race has been. We've seen people fall at turn 1. We've seen people fall through lap 2. They've been falling like flies in the 125 race, the 250cc race, and in this 500. Kenny Roberts will have seen the people falling in the 125 and 250s, noted the fact that if you just keep it cool, get a bit of a lead in the first half of the race, and then see what the others can do. He's used his head as well as the motorcycle and the tires that are available to him, and psychology is everything in this sport. He's psyched himself up, kept himself cool though, don't need a hot head, don't need to throw it down the road as we have seen with some riders this afternoon, but he's just now got a third of a lap to go, and Doohan is still 2.5 seconds behind. Doohan, I think, has just rolled off the throttle. He realizes that he is not going to be able to catch Kenny Roberts in a do-or-die effort in the final few corners in this Japanese Grand Prix. Kenny Roberts, number 10, Suzuki, has just got the 2 left-handers to go, and then the final right-hander that brings him on to the home straight. It's ironically called the victory corner. Gonna be victory for American 25-year-old Kenny Roberts, who comes over the line. He punches the air. Suzuki win in Japan. Honda gets second position with Michael Doohan, and Bob Toomey, his engineer, the Kiwi on pit wall, is elated with Kenny Roberts getting 25 points. Third is a Yamaha with number 6, Norikabe, the local Japanese rider, coming home in that third position, the first time that the Antenna 3 Dantine team are on the podium. And well, fourth position gets taken by Alex Crivier, just 0.3 of a second ahead of Sete Gibernau on a last lap lunge that sees Crivier getting fourth. Checker on his Yamaha gets 6th, Shinichi Ito, Lucky Strike Honda in 7th, and Alex Barros in 8th. World champion Max Biaggi struggled with grip on his Yamaha to be 9th ahead of Nobuatsu Aoki, the other Suzuki teammate to Kenny Roberts in the lead. Well, it's champagne time, and Junior will love every single second of that. He's going to keep some for the team down there in pit lane. Well, if he's not wet already, he certainly will be now. There is your championship table. That is a lead of 17 points after 2 races for Kenny Roberts.